Hey guys, I know I haven't posted a video in a little while. I had quite the eventful weekend, as you've probably gathered from the title. So I'm just gonna jump straight into it. It was my 25th birthday this past weekend, and I did have a lot of fun. However, there were some things that did happen that was very uncomfortable, to say the least. Basically, I don't even know where to begin. It's that kind of weird feeling like you can't really process, like, oh my god, is this actually happening? And it progressively just got worse and worse as the weekend progressed, despite the fact that it was supposed to be a fun weekend. And it all started the evening of my actual birthday. It was while I was out at the bar with a couple of friends, and one of my close friends texted me, and he wanted me to come over there and say hi, and I was just right next door. So I was like, okay, sure, why not? And then I go over there, dude's drunk, of course, and I'm chatting up with a couple of his friends that I've talked to a couple of times before. We're just having a good time. We were having a couple drinks, and then I realized that my friend was passing out on like the chair that he was sitting on. I had told his friend, or our friend, was that he probably needs to go. So we ended up leaving with him to go out front and try to find a way to get an Uber. And I actually was arguing with his friend for a little bit about how we're gonna get him home. So at the end of the day, I didn't pay for the Uber there, and I ended up riding with my friend back to make sure that he was all right. In retrospect, this is actually pretty funny. But we ended up going back to his place, and I remember we got outside the car, and he was like fumbling with his keys, like, what am I doing? And I was like, here, give me those, let me do that, because apparently you can't do it yourself. So anyway, I managed to get the door open, and I was able to help him inside. The first thing that happens while I'm guiding him up the stairs, and when we first walk into his apartment, takes one, maybe two steps in, and immediately falls over. And me being the good friend that I am, I try lifting him up off the floor. And it was in that moment that my friend, like, while he's like halfway up on his feet, like reaches for my neck and starts like strangling me. And I'm just like thinking, what the f? Who does that? Why? Why are you choking me? I'm trying to help you, you stupid bitch. So anyway, I was not having any of that, so I knocked him back on the ground, and then I grabbed him by the feet and dragged his ass like a goddamn heavy bag of trash down the hall to his bedroom, where I can make sure that I can get him in bed, and he's still laying on the floor. And he's like a fairly heavy guy, like 170, 180 pounds, pretty good sized guy. So I end up trying to pick him up again, and guess what happens again? Stupid bitch tries to strangle me, and I just smack his hand away. I'm like, no, I don't have time for that, no. And I end up putting him in bed, took his socks and shoes off. I tried flipping him over because he was like face first in the pillows, and I didn't want him to suffocate, but I'm like, you know what, if I try touching him anymore, because I started to, and he's like, yeah. So that was fun. After that, I got back to the festival, and I went out and had a good time with my friends again. So that was one instance of me getting almost killed during my weekend of fun. So yeah. So after that, there was more that happened during the weekend, and as you can tell, I do have my crown. My friends actually ended up buying me this thing. Love it. I feel like a princess, Disney princess. My favorite Disney princess is Cusco, by the way.
Whoa, no touchy. No touchy. No touch.
So getting back to it, the second instance of me almost dying was when I was walking to my friend's house, and he was waiting for me so we can go to a party together. And I was walking down the street, and I was looking into my phone because I was texting him. I was like, and then all of a sudden I feel someone jab something into my back, like it was a gun or something. And my first immediate reaction was like, what the f is going on? This can't be happening right now. The first thing out of his mouth was, give me your phone. So in that moment, in disbelief and just absolute craziness, like I'm halfway between giving him my phone, whoever the hell this mystery person is, and halfway between like turning my head to figure out like what's going on. My friend jumps up in front of me, and it was someone that I knew, that I actually met back from a trip I had done previously to Shanghai, China, that I haven't really seen since. I was just like stood there in shock for a good few moments. I almost wanted to beat the out of him. It was so bad. I was just like walking down the street with him while he's on the phone, and I'm just like, what just happened? God, nothing could have really prepared me for that. It was in like such a way that I couldn't really even defend myself, and I just felt so defenseless, and I felt so vulnerable. And it was just something that like I never thought I would even jokingly had done to me, which he then was like, haha, it was just a joke. And I'm like, never do that to another human being ever again. Like ever. I wasn't able to finally like shake it off until like I had walked a couple blocks, and after that point I got to my friend's place. I'm like, you know what, I gotta go. Maybe I'll see you later. But yeah, so that's the second instance of me like being afraid for my life during my birthday weekend. But it gets even better. So the third instance happens when I actually get to said party that I was just talking about. I had arrived there with a couple of my friends. I had made sure that we got there maybe like an hour late, because I feel like it's a little bit rude to be there on time, because I know when I'm making a party, like I'm not ready the moment the party starts. And then when people do arrive, I'm like, what am I gonna do? Anyway, we get to the party, and I remember walking in the back with my friends and realizing that there's like a porch to this house party that we had just arrived at. And it had been raining a lot in Chicago at the time, so I was just looking at this damp porch, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind somewhere like, hopefully it doesn't collapse. And always in my mind, like, I don't know if I'm wired for this or something, but like my mind thinks the worst possible scenario for certain situations that just pop into my head. I can't really even like control it.